I come here whenever. So this shop is locked. So you guys can go someplace else because I already tell my members the truth, right? Because I am one of the vice presidents who vote against the money that George asks for, the members' money. I come here whenever. So this shop is locked. So you guys can go someplace else because I already tell my members the truth, right?
And what's cracking? So yeah, I put a little vignette or stitch together just a few snippets of things that have happened over the past few decades here in our country, because I know a lot of individuals forget or just simply don't remember American history, the way it actually played out versus the narrative, the way that it's told. So we're gonna run that clip and then we're gonna spin the block and we're gonna get down to business. Stick around to the end and actually watch the content. You might just learn something.
Not only a chump, but you're a traitor to your race. You threw 80% of your votes behind the Democrats that put the Democrats in the White House. When you see this, you can see that the Negro vote is the key factor. And despite the fact that you are in a position to be the determining factor, what do you get out of it? The Democrats have been in Washington, D.C. only because of the Negro vote. They've been down there 4 years. And all other legislation they wanted to bring up, they brought it up and gotten it out of the way, and now they bring up you. And now they bring up you. You put them first and they put you last. Because you're a chump. Anytime you throw your weight behind a political party that controls 2/3 of the government, and that party can't keep the promise that it made to you during election time, and you're dumb enough to walk around continuing to identify yourself with that party, you're not only a chump, but you're a traitor to your race. Not only a chump.
White, brown, green, it don't matter. Evangelicals, it don't matter. This party is the party of the devil. And watch this.
He's a born man.
Shut up!
That's a born male. You're a born woman.
Fucking shut up!
Wow.
That's a, well, you're a born one.
Shut the fuck up! Hey!
Hey,
Whoa.
No,
You don't say that.
Wow.
I do say that.
No, you don't.
He's a born man. He's a man.
Shut the fuck up!
Hey.
White.
10 and 20 million immigrants.
Can you
took
shut
up the
up?
housing stock of working Americans, and can you maintain some level of dignity?
I haven't asked you any more questions,
It's the gentleman from Massachusetts.
I'm trying to get to my next question.
Could you speak a little louder? I can't hear you.
Yeah, okay.
In
I take that as a no.
2006, you traveled to Venezuela
I
to
take-
lobby
I take
Hugo
that as a no.
Chavez on behalf of
I
your
take that
donor,
as a
on
no.
behalf- Congresswoman,
Yes
I do
or
not. I am the
no?
Treasury Secretary. I am not the USTR.
Reclaiming my
I
time.
am not the President of the United States.
Reclaiming my time.
So you're asking the wrong
Well,
person. 10 and 20 million immigrants.
Can you
took
shut
up the
up?
housing
benefits from a program designed to help black mothers due to high infant mortality rates, right? But here's what people not talking about. The program is called Black Infant Health. It's been around since 1989. No income requirements. Race is the only qualifier. And the legal organizations challenging it, Pacific Legal Foundation, connected to the same network behind ending affirmative action in universities, Small Hat, Ed Blum. They need programs like this to exist because striking them down is the whole business model. Stay with me. Here's where it gets more interesting. The people who designed this program, they weren't naive. Constitutional lawyers have known race-exclusive public programs operate on borrowed time since the 90s. So why design it with zero income threshold, zero needs test, nothing that could survive a legal challenge? Maybe because the point was never longevity. Maybe the point was the narrative. The grievance cycle benefits both sides politically, and the actual black mothers, they the props. And then there's this. The research, peer review, not opinion, shows that it ain't all black women, which includes melanated immigrants who experience these catastrophic birth outcome disparities. It's specifically black American women. African and Caribbean immigrant women have significantly better outcomes, which tells you everything you need to know. This ain't about no skin color, which black Americans seem to be the only ones who understand this concept. It's about cumulative generational weight of being a black American. So a program that just checks the box black, regardless of immigration status, regardless of ethnic background, ain't even accurately targeting the women who actually need it, black American women. Lineage-based policy. Stay with me. So you have a program that was legally precarious by design, politically useful to both sides when challenged, and not even precisely built for the women it claimed to protect. Just like all these other programs and laws that were supposedly designed for the Black American lineage, but they used race in its place to sabotage it long term and to be able to give those resources to melanated immigrants. The people who built it knew exactly what they were doing. End of the day, you have to understand how American politics plays the long game. They'd much rather take the chance that the money they'll generate from these policies will overcome the lawsuit money they'll lose years or decades later. When it comes to the Black American, they'll give it short term and they'll take it away long term. The grassroots knows this, but it's the black politicians they put in your faces who get to set us up for failure deliberately.
You want to see
the Hispanic
I know how to write Marlon, so I know how to make a mean pot of greens. In fact, people used to ask me to make greens for them for Christmas. One year, I had so many that I had to wash that we ended up washing them in the bathtub. So I am not playing around. So what you got to write Marlon?
When Donald Trump tapped into this idea of make America great again, there was times of economic opportunity. Wages rose until the 1970s.
I'm proud to be a bartender.
What?
Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with working retail, folding clothes for other people to buy.
I have a dream.
There is nothing wrong with preparing the food that your neighbors will eat.
And I, for one, am tired of hearing about how a two-bit union buster thinks of himself as more of a patriot than the woman who fights every single day to lift working people out from under the boots that breathe, trampling on our way of life. The truth is, Don, you cannot love this country if you only fight for the wealthy and big business.
Great freedom hymn. I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. Great.
I'm like you. You've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
Not everybody in the community, in the Hispanic and the African American community, know how to get online.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American, who is articulate and bright and clean and a nice looking guy.
Take back our streets from crime, gangs, and drugs. They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators.
I'm formation right.
What's something that you always carry with you?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Are you getting information right now?
Hot sauce.
Hot sauce in my bag, Swag?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yes.
Now listen, I just want you to know, people are going to see this and say, okay, she's pandering to black people.
Okay. Is it working?
Yeah.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them.
Is agreeing to voter ID one of those compromises that you'd support?
I don't think that we should underestimate what that could mean. Because in some people's mind, that means, well, you're going to have to Xerox or photocopy your ID to send it in to prove you are who you are. Well, there are a whole lot of people, especially people who live in rural communities, who don't, there's no Kinko's, there's no Office Max near them. People have to understand that when we're talking about voter ID laws, be clear about who you have in mind and what would be required of them to prove who they are.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you, you know. I'm a 960 SAT guy. And I'm not trying to offend anyone, you know, trying to act all there if you got 940. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech.
No, she has to go.
What?
And we back. So what I'm really trying to illustrate to you is, one, quote unquote Black America, foundational Black Americans, are normally the testing grounds for everything that they do and they push out for the rest of the POC community. And that's what a lot of individuals don't understand. But if you see and you follow the historical narrative, you can see who's actually playing in your face by paying attention to what they actually push and how they use it and how it's actually being used against you. And until you figure that out, you're gonna keep getting shuffled around and lost in the sauce and played and used. If you pay attention, right? Even during the last election cycle when they had Meg Thee Stallion and all them on stage twerking, they are appealing to the lowest common denominator of their constituency. They talk to you and they handle you the way that they do because they think your ass is fucking stupid. And this is why everything that's going on is going on right now. This is why every institution that is aligned or attaches themselves to these same policies, 1199Seiu, which is why they're out there saying dry ice, just like the NAACP, it goes against your betterment. It goes against all of our betterment. Because at the end of the day, who's suffering? American workers. It don't matter if we black, white, Asian, the several different ethnicities of Hispanic, it don't fucking matter. If you are a birthright citizen or a naturalized citizen, this shit is affecting you because 20 million people just came in here scot-free and they need somewhere to go and they need something to do. And right now, we are being their protectors and their providers because they don't work, correct? So once they start getting jobs, and remember, they're not used to the laws here. They don't understand how our unions and everything else work. So just if you look up the statistics and what happens with individuals under H-1B visas and how they're overworked and underpaid. They're bringing in a cheap labor force to undercut all of us. So while we're fighting about black, white, Hispanic, and all this other shit, even the naturalized citizens that are of the immigrant lineage, you see, this is how they pander and appease to you. Just like the lady in the last video who said that she didn't think anyone that was illegal should be deported for murder. So because you belong to these groups, just like they do with black people, they play on your intergenerational trauma and they use things that they know will push their agenda to their betterment and to your detriment, and you're not paying attention because you're caught up in your emotions. We were all taught that communism is bad. What do we think socialism is when Mondami tells you he's a democratic socialist? But what am I saying? At this point, sometimes I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but I'll say this much. You see what's going on with the Montefiore election. As I said in the last video, which I left out, you can see who's following us now, which means, again, like I said, they're paying attention. If you want to know if you're not playing games, you're going to have to show the fuck up and show out. So, again, we need to get the engagement up, and we need to get the watch time up. Because now, Miss Hargett, as well as the rest of 1199Seiu, Yvonne Armstrong, Veronica Turner, Bix, old Ruthless Toothless, and Hugh Hefner and the Madam of the Den themselves are all watching how you're reacting to these videos and what you're doing in this upcoming election. So yeah, I'm gonna slide out of here on that note and take my ass back in the house. But realize, and transparency forces accountability. Y'all keep your eyes to the stars. Keep that head on the swivel. Because we in a diabolical den of demons, aka vipers, man. That's a dirty ass game, man. Y'all be safe and stay dangerous.
I come here whenever, so this shop is locked. So you guys can go someplace else because I already tell my members the truth, right? Because I am one of the vice presidents who vote against the money that George asks for, the members' money. I come here whenever, so this shop is locked. So you guys can go someplace else because I already tell my members the truth, right? Because I am one of the vice presidents who vote against the money that George asks for, the members' money.